looks a little bit like Doctor Strange's magic portal. This symbol, the Bagua, is actually the origin of all Chinese metaphysics. Hi, welcome back to Good FengShui Good Life. I'm Vimin Lai. Now, the main objective that I started this channel is I wanted an avenue to share my experiences and my knowledge of Chinese metaphysics, Feng Shui, to the world. The subject of Feng Shui and Chinese astrology, 八字, has always been a subject of interest to me. Now, ever since I decided to take a deep dive into Feng Shui in around 2017, my life changed quite literally. Money started coming in. I formed many good business partnerships and relationships. In terms of family, communication is better and there's less conflict in the house. Some things, especially, Feng Shui, you gotta experience it to believe it. If you haven't already checked out my last video about how to determine the Feng Shui sector of your house, I highly recommend you to do so. You can go to goodfengshuigoodlife.com and download the free Feng Shui ruler, the free customized Good Feng Shui Good Life Feng Shui ruler, and using that, you can accurately determine the Feng Shui sector of your house. Let's go to goodfengshuigoodlife.com and get your free download. Determining the Feng Shui sector of your house is very important in today's content. This week, we will learn how to find your sector of the house. In the previous video, we looked at the meaning of the yin and yang. This time, let's dive a little deeper. This is the evolution of the yin and yang. This is the Bagua. If you've been to China or Chinatown, you've seen this symbol before. It looks a little bit like Doctor Strange's magic portal. This symbol, the Bagua, is actually the origin of all Chinese metaphysics. Feng Shui, Men Dun Jia, Plum Blossom, and various schools of divination all originated from the Bagua. The Bagua is created by this guy. His name is Fu Xi. He is said to be the forefather of the Chinese people. He lived 8,000 years ago. That is a time before written languages are created. He is the one who taught people how to farm crops and domesticate animals. So, why did he create the Bagua? Why did he create such symbols? What is it for? The Bagua in Chinese actually means 8 symbols. Ba in Chinese is 8. 8,000 years ago, people are illiterate because the written language hasn't even been invented yet. So Fu Xi, he needs some sort of symbol to tell people certain messages. It is said that he would put a gua outside his house to signify what's the weather gonna be like the next day, so that the farmers know how to plan their activities and know what to do. If you look closely, each of the gua is made out of 3 lines. It's either a straight line or a broken line. Now 3 lines, 3 sections form a gua. Therefore, a gua is also known as a TRIGRAM. 3. Let's take a look at each of the 8 guas. This is heaven, made out of 3 lines, as yang as it gets. This is the gua of the king, the man of the house, also represents the head. When we talk about heaven, please note that it's just a name. It has nothing to do with the heaven in the religious context. It's called heaven because there is simply lack of a better translation. This is earth, made out of 3 broken lines, the most yin gua. The earth also represents the queen, the mother, and also the abdomen. This is thunder, 2 broken lines followed by a straight line. If we invert the 3 lines, we get the wind gua. 2 straight lines followed by a broken line. This is water. Look at the shape. It looks pretty soft from the top, right? But it's quite solid in the center. It is quite hard to judge the depth of the water just by looking at the surface. This is fire. Looks very flashy from the outside, but it's actually hollow on the inside. You can't touch fire. This is mountain. Look at the shape. Shapes like a mountain, right? And this is marsh. Represents the swampy areas near the river. These are the 8 guas. Look at these 2 baguas. Can you spot any differences? 5 seconds to spot the difference. Yes, these are the same trigrams. It's just that the arrangement is different. Let's start with the pre-heaven Bagua, the main topic of this episode. Now, in the pre-heaven Bagua, it is where things are in the most balanced state. The number and the sequence will go as follows. Number 1, heaven. 2, marsh. 3, fire. 4, thunder. 5, wind. 6, water. 7, mountain. 8, earth. When it goes to 9, it returns to heaven, and 0 goes back to earth. So heaven and earth both are represented by 2 numbers. So next time when we are referring to numbers of a gua, refer to this chart. Now look at the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does this shape looks familiar? Yes, this is the shape of the yin-yang. The yin and yang is also known as the Tai Chi. Sounds familiar? Tai Chi is also the name of a Chinese martial art. You know, the slow moving kind where usually old people practice in parks? Now if you want to see something interesting, go check out the movie Tai Chi Master starring Jet Li. And you can see the movements he uses is all based on the yin-yang, the form and shape. Kung Fu movies aside, let's look at the actual pairings of each gua. Now go back to the Bagua and look at what is on the opposite side of each of the guas. We can see that heaven is earth, thunder has wind, water, fire, mountain, and marsh. Notice that all these numbers, you add them up and the answer is always 9. This is what we meant by in a balanced state. Alright, now we know what is the pre-heaven Bagua. So what does it have to do with Feng Shui? And how is it applicable in real life? In the context of a family, the heaven represents the man of the house, the father. The earth represents the mother. Thunder represents the eldest or first son. Wind is the eldest daughter. Water, the second son. Fire, the second daughter. Mountain is the youngest or third son, and marsh is the youngest or third daughter. Depending on your ranking in your family, now you can determine your own gua of the house. For example, if I'm the father of the house, my gua is heaven. If you are the second daughter of your house, your gua is fire. By looking at the pre-heaven Bagua, now you know how to determine your own gua of the house. Now what if you come from a big family where you have more than 6 kids? For example, if you have like 10 brothers and sisters, what gua do you belong to? If that is really your case, leave a comment in the comment section below and tell me what rank are you in the family, and I will tell you which gua you belong to. There's a formula to that. Everyone understand the concept now? Your gua of your household depends on your birth order or your ranking in the house. Depending on your gua of your household, there are certain sectors that are good for you and there are certain sectors that are not so good for you. Now, by looking at the pre-heaven Bagua, you know how to determine your Gua of the house. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you ASAP. Thank you again for checking out this channel. This week, we looked at the pre-heaven Bagua and how to determine your Gua of the household. In the next episode, we'll be checking out the post-heaven Bagua and how to find your lucky sector of the house. Stay tuned to Good Feng Shui Good Life, where we give you good Feng Shui tips at your fingertips. I'm Vimin Lai. Bye-bye.